Moving on to the reaction to fans' comments, and he's saying that they're getting tossed. When you're talking about a person's family, when you're talking about somebody speaking racist, racist, saying derogatory things to you, I'm sorry, you don't deserve to be at this game. Being at the game is honestly a privilege. Now you can talk shit and talk trash or whatever the case may be. Now I think if it's petty stuff that they try to kick him out on, that's whack. Excuse me. That's absolutely whack. But when you're talking about somebody's family member, when you're talking about someone's color, their skin, when you're saying racist things, homophobic things, you shouldn't be at the game. You shouldn't be at the game. That's just plain and simple to me. So when people sit there and especially Charles Barkley, I wanted to bring that up. He said on open court, they said if you were commissioner of the league one time, Eric Johnson was asking the question on NBA open court. And what would you do? And Charles Barkley instantly said that he would have fans come to the middle of the arena and say what they said to him just now. He said that on national TV. This was like what? I think within the decade. You can check that on YouTube, especially. And for that to sit there and linger like that, it's like you said that. Where you guys say fans cross the line and say stuff like that, they shouldn't be at the game. When those incidents happened, like LeBron and Draymond and other people like that, Russell Westbrook, when stuff happened like that, you guys didn't sit there and say, hey, that's just basketball, that hey, chop it up to that. That's not what was said. When fans cross the line, they don't deserve to be at the game. Plain and simple. Throwing stuff, whatever it is. If that stuff is harmful towards the player, fans don't deserve to be at the game. Now, you can say a player sucks. You can say he sucks. You can say a multitude of things. But when you cross that line for a player and the player can't hit them or strike them, those people deserve to be out the game. And I strongly believe that. I don't think you can go to a game and just be able to say whatever you want to say. I just don't believe that. You paid a ticket to view the game and cheer on your team, et cetera, et cetera. I'm fine with talking trash. I'm completely fine with that. But when that trash crosses the line, just like anywhere in America, just like anywhere, if I'm talking with my boys and I'm talking trash to them and I cross the line, I apologize instantly. They apologize to me instantly. There's certain things that we just know not to say. That goes anywhere. If you were out on the street and you were going back and forth with a person, there's a boiling point. There's a crossing point. And that holds to the NBA arena. That holds to the NBA. That holds to fans at NBA games. Players are human. Just because they make millions of dollars doesn't mean certain things just get to be said. That doesn't make any sense. In anywhere of society, any place in society, that doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. So to expect that to happen at NBA games and kind of just throw that and like, hey, the players are being babied, I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think that's okay to say. I don't think that's fair to say. And especially being a former player like Charles Barkley is, and especially what he said on open court. So maybe that was just a throwaway comment, but I had to address it because I feel like some certain things are getting, and especially with this era, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going on. I don't want to say that I'm sitting here defending this era, but I feel like a lot of disrespect comes towards this era of basketball within the last 15, 20 years. Social media, with social media adding to that especially. Players are getting disrespected all the time. And I'm not saying that didn't happen back in the day or whatever the case may be. It's literally all the time on TV, in the press, in social media, games and that comes with the job. And I understand that to a certain point in time. But I feel like this era is just getting massively disrespected. And everyone's acting like, hey, that's just okay. That's just a part of it. These people are human. And I talk shit about players too. But I don't feel like I cross the line with that. I feel like I talk shit about them on the court, what they do on the court. I don't talk about their families. I don't go into that line of stuff like that. Nah, that's not my thing. If I talk shit about a player, it's about what they do on the court. Plain and simple. And I just feel like players are getting really disrespected in today's game, and it's just like on every level, when it comes to stats, playing, defense, whatever the game, whatever the geometry of how they play the game, every little thing is getting disrespected, especially by the old school generation players, fans. This is not what I'm used to seeing, so I'm going to trash it. And that's been the history of the league. Contracts, all of that. I remember when there was a game, I believe the late 90s, when Dr. J was on NBC, and I believe it was a halftime show, and he was saying guys are getting paid a bunch of money, $4 million and stuff like that, and guys are getting paid too much. That's what every generation says about the previous generation, about guys getting money, not taking the game seriously. That's what they always say, and that was Dr. J, one of the most respected players in NBA history, one of the most distinguished gentlemen of the NBA, well-respected guy. He was saying about that, about the late 90s players. In every situation, it's like the same cycle continues. I've been watching the game for 25 years now, I can say consistently, like following the game like that. And it's like every situation with like a 5-year, 10-year generational gap, that's what players continuously say about the previous generation. And it's like, at some point, we got to call it what it is. It's a crock of shit. This is going to happen with every era of basketball, and people are just going to say, hey, it's getting softer. Like, can we stop that? Either you enjoy the game or you don't. And I'll get into that in my next video. I'll get into that as well, because I want to talk about the parity of the league and people saying the league sucks, et cetera, and fans never being satisfied, certain NBA fans never being satisfied with the game. But yeah, I just feel like this era of basketball players getting disrespected a lot, and I feel like fans shouldn't be able to say what they want to say. I just feel like these takes are getting lazy now.